everyone, and welcome to this very old episode. For reference, what you're about to see I have already done at least once. Very nice. So what we have to do today is we have to get something out to this station. Problem being, its smallest piece of orbit over here is several times the standard orbit of about 100 kilometers. Which means we have to get something out to there, and we're not actually going to be setting up fuel here, because I realized that I'm a complete idiot, and I put something on geosynchronous orbit that wasn't, strictly speaking, complete yet. This thing over here is just a Kethane tank. What we're launching today is a launch pad to build rockets and stuff. So we need to get this heavy thing over to that fairly light thing at a huge orbit. Which means, firstly, we need to do an orbital rendezvous with it, which is way easier when things are in shorter orbits. And then we have to dock with it, which is not easy at the best of times. So, I've got everything up here, so I also had to build a new lander for this, but this is basically the launch pad on top of a stabilizer wheel, on top of a fuel canister, because I need something to keep this separate, more separate from the central body of the station, because when this opens it will probably break it. And then we've got probe control and everything, and a docking port at the bottom there, in between those. So, with that in mind, let me open orbital, and boost up our thrust, and let's get moving. Mute that. Because apparently I left that running. This whole procedure is very time consuming and also very delicate at points. So I'm a little bit on edge. It is about 20 minutes past 3 in the morning. And the reason you're seeing this more than once is because I nearly achieved it once, and then my recordings for commentary and audio and such decided that they weren't going to save at all. After about 6 minutes in, but I didn't notice until I'd almost finished everything. So I had to scrap that whole take, and I'm now doing this one. And yeah, we are doing this at night. Not sure why it turned out that way anymore, but it did, so yay. I'm filled with caffeine and drowsiness right now, so if I seem a little off, that'll be why. But we need to get this done, because once we get this done, then I can more or less just send little packets of rocket parts and such up to the station, and it will be able to build what I need on site. Which will make things a lot easier as far as expanding this space station goes. We can basically have it build itself to a fault. But first we actually need to get there, so let's see, we are rising rapidly out of the pea soup, at which point we need to perform a gravity turn. Oh, looks like it's going to be right at the end of this section of fuel, so let's begin our gravity turn now. I don't normally do gravity turns, I usually just prefer to muscle my way out of the atmosphere, and then make my turns. But gravity turn saves fuel. I think I've turned the right way. No, I haven't. I'm pointing the complete opposite way to the way I need to be going. I think. I'm not sure anymore. I think that's going the right way. Okay, we need to be pointing the other way then. Damn! I'm rapidly reducing my odds of actually getting a decent orbit with this thing. That way, please. Fortunately, my apoapsis is still climbing. It's just I'm ruining my gravity turn. There it goes. Okay, that's good. Whoop. A little further over there, please. Yeah, I nearly run out of this stage, but that one usually dies by this point anyways. Let's try and get us... It turns a little slowly and unstably initially when you've got all of this stuff in the back. Once it's actually down to this section, it's pretty maneuverable. And this section all has about 2,000 or so, yeah, 2,500 odd meters per second in delta V, which is sort of, I think I've said this before, sort of like tech speak for how far it can go and whatnot. It's sort of the currency with which you buy altitude and orbits and whatnot. Okay, so we're still climbing. We are almost entirely out of the atmosphere now. And we'd be pushing for a low orbit if we actually went here. We could do that, but we don't need to. We actually need a fairly large orbit. So yeah, it's very early in the morning. I've been spending forever on this, trying to get it all done, because orbital rendezvous they're qualified as one of the basic maneuvers, but not easy, very fiddly, very time consuming, and I will explain how while we're doing it. Okay, so let me just cut there and create an orbit here. Okay, and let's also, while we're here, set that as our target. And work on an intercept. Okay, right, so yeah, that is the beginning of an intercept, but we're miles away from that. Let me just point towards, because I've got about a minute and 12. Deep, more to the left, please. Let's keep on that alignment, because that's what the station is on as well. There we go. Now, there are things that can help you out with this. There's MechJeb, for one. And after so much trial and tribulation with this, I'm contemplating installing a new mod that was released, which is the Kerbal Operating System, which lets you program things a la computer craft, and have your ships and whatnot, and rockets, do them for you. Without your interference at all. But for the moment, I am mostly just trying to get this done myself, because programming something is usually a lot better when you can actually manage it yourself, because you know what you actually have to do. Come on, keep pointing at the right one. We have passed our apoapsis, so we still need to burn prograde here. Whoop, keep pointing, come on. I think we're pretty much definitely going to run out of fuel in this stage soon. So we can watch this take off majestically. Yep, that is. Those are the twin rockets on the Launchpad. I'm not sure exactly why it has those, but I'm not complaining, because they can use the rocket fuel here and can have quite a ton of Delta V for it. And it being lighter here also means that we can push things a lot easier. So let's get rid of that, because when you're trying to do orbits, the maneuver nodes are fantastic, but when you're trying to get encounters and such, with other craft that are orbiting, for some reason, they are pretty much dirty liars. Non-stop, always the time. Not sure why, but that is the case. So yeah, we don't have much in the way of horsepower, for want of a better term here, but we do get a fair bit of Delta V. Let's keep pointing towards that so I don't lose it. Cheaply is the best way to go here, so... Okay, so there is our encounter, the intersection point, but we need to kind of work out a way to get these to rendezvous a bit better, so let us use these as a guide. What do we have? Let's see, we need to work that down to about ideally less than 10 kilometers, which is not the easiest of things in the world. Yeah, this is above it, that's why it's going up. Do this. Yep, there we go. 32. Oh, let's pull this a little bit more along here as well. Whoop, no, other way. This is where the fiddliness comes in. And what I could really do with is something sort of like in a window or something to tell me what the distance is to my target. Oh, has that gone up? Yes, it has. Right. So 9 is probably our best bet here. So let us point that way. And prepare our burn, and you'll probably find out, once I've done this, why I consider these things to be dirty liars. Because when you have one up like that, it hijacks the system, so you can't really see where your points are right now. You just see where they become, which is a little unfriendly, to say the least. And you don't get to see where they actually are until that node is gone. So, yeah, bit of a pain. So just time, accelerate forwards until we get close to our time here. And we have 277 to burn, so I'm going to start now. And we can get rid of this node so that I can watch these two spin around and do it my way. What usually happens is that these decide to vanish at some point because the node was lying to me. Okay, slow it down, because that's moving very quickly. There, we'll stop there. Yeah, definitely stop there, because we just pushed it up. Okay, and that intersection is in 1 hour and 25 minutes. But that will be... See, the way that this works is that that is where you're intersecting. That is the target position. So when I hit there, that intersection of the orbit, that is where the space station is. So we need to line the two up so that they're at the same place at the same time. But that is intersect point 2 because we get past that, so that's fine. Right. So now we need to get there, and when we get there, we need to switch to target. This is our relative velocity relative to the space station, and we need to null that, basically. Which at the moment is not going to be easy, because that's more meters per second than we have. But it'll get a lot easier because that will be on its slow, and we'll be picking up from our fast there, so that should be easier. But if not, we'll find out rather soon. At the very least, we do still have a stable orbit, so whilst it's not the most pleasant of orbits, it will be recoverable if we actually manage to fail, because we've got, I know how much lower point to get to than here, which is massive to say the least. Right. So yeah, on the subject of mods, I haven't installed anything new. I've realized that more or less every episode now I've had a new mod to show off and explain in the midst of everything. I don't really want to end up with a series that's got like 2,000 mods in it. So I've been trying to hold back on that for at least a little bit. So whilst I like the look of Kerbal operating system and a couple of other things, I'm going to hold off on adding more mods for a bit. And just get used to the game as it is. It's like I think I said this in the last episode. I may have said this almost every episode now, which I'm adding mods that add features that feel like they should already be in the game. So you've got Kethane, you've got the launchpads, you've got flight engineer over here, and all sorts. But everything else, like I don't add many things that add parts because they tend to be a bit more unbalanced, which seems a bit strange in itself. Okay, our velocity is now picking up. That's not nice. But that's because that's approaching the slowest part of its orbit. So we are quickly approaching. Yeah, we're under 10 minutes here. And the distance to that is rapidly dropping. Can we see it from here? No, although we can see parts of Kerbin unrender. Now, once we see it, we need to burn retrograde to kill our relative velocity, which is thankfully now less than our... how much time is it to that? 4 minutes. Which is now thankfully less than our meters per second that we still have left, because I kind of lost some by virtue of being an idiot at launch. Because what I was trying to do was make sure that I was orbiting in the same direction as this, because otherwise your encounters are a lot more brief. Okay. So, that is a distance of less than... a distance of less than 340 now. Again, yeah, my commentary is a lot less peppy than usual there. I'm trying to get this right. I was trying to get this right before it was very tense, but I'm a little bit better now, I think. Or I would say, at the very least. Less than 300 now. 0.7 degrees. Okay, still dropping. We have another 3 minutes to that, so let's just accelerate a little bit. And, yep, our relative velocity is dropping again. That's good. Now we zero that out by burning retrograde. So we are then effectively stationary to the craft that we're trying to intercept with. Now let's start burning that now, because we do not accelerate very quickly. And that is rapidly reducing our relative velocity, which is what we want. Can we see this thing? Yep, there it is. Just under 100 kilometers there. So we'll take our time here. We are increasing that, but it's still an intersect, so that's good. And that number is dropping, which is good. We're just under 1,000 meters per second now. And once we actually get this zeroed out, we can pretty much just point directly at the target and nudge ourselves forward, and we should eventually hit over it, although we are doing things very, very slowly here. Okay. Velocity is still dropping, which is good because we're running out of delta V, which will not be good if we run that out. I may have to do this again at some point. Yeah, that's pushing that away, but we are... You'll notice from this that we are actually also bringing ourselves into an orbit that's very similar. Oh, hang on, move up, move up, move up. Okay, stop there. So now we're barely moving at all relative to that, so we point ourselves at it with that little HUD there. And now we need to move our markers over to actually be targeting it. So there we go. We need to burn until that is basically over there, so that our orbit is pointed directly at it. I'm being very careful on that notion because we don't have much fuel left. We've got we don't have much left here, and it's all stored inside of the with the exception of monopropellant in here. It's all stored in here, which is not the best of things. Okay, so that is now dropping. I'll time accelerate this because it'll take us an age to get over there. Yep, still dropping. But, oh, wait, no, hang on. I just went back up, I think. Okay, let's thrust a bit more towards it then. Because our orbit has gone away from it. Oh, please, 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 please. I don't have to do this again. Okay, we have to stop there because we're out of fuel otherwise. 11.2. Oh, I think I've lost this. Well, this has been a sleepy episode of Kerbal Space Program, so I think I can blame that much. How many meters per second can I burn here? Evidently not very many, because it's getting further away, but we now see it as a standard. But alas, that is about as close as we'll get. So I have to scrap this mission, basically. And we shall do this again next time. Enjoy. Where I will hopefully end with a docking procedure. That's new. Today the skies were not with us twice. Which is annoying, because the first time I did this, where I'd lost all of the footage, I was literally right up to it. Less than a kilometer. Down to meters. But it was not to be today, it would seem. I'll give it one last shot anyways. And we are now out of fuel. And the best we'll get is 9.8 kilometers. Oh well, I suppose this will be a two-parter. But on that note then, on that unfortunate note, which I'm sure is going to have to press rallying at my back, shall catch you next time. I go sleep now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and or a favourite. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to be notified of future updates. You can also check out the website where most other content is uploaded. That's all for now. Catch you later.